Do you remember that sign from last year, the one I made, the Undertaker sign? Well, I want to do something similar this year. Let me show you what I'm thinking of. That's the sign I want to replicate for out here in the studio. Now, before I started thinking about my Egyptian themed haunt, I went online and started doing a lot of research earlier in the year, and I came across that image. And I thought that sign would look pretty cool out here in the studio and would go good with my Egyptian themed haunt. So I want to make it. Now I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put it at here in the studio, but I can figure that out later. I stopped by the lumber store the other day and picked up some wood for the sign. Now last year when I made the Undertaker sign, I used some old fence pickets that I had, and it worked out great. But this year I decided to use some pine boards. And these are just your basic pine boards. This one's 4 inches wide and this one's 6 inches wide. Actually it's 5.5 and 3.5, and they're each 6 feet long. So my plan is to fasten these two boards together. Like so. And I'll use some scrap pieces of lumber that I have that I'll cut down the size, and I'll put these on the back of the boards to hold them both together. And I'll put one on each end, and then I'll maybe put one in the center or two in the center, and that will hold everything together. After I do that, I'm going to take my green spray paint and paint the whole thing, the one side of it. And I'll let that dry, and then I'll take my sander and scuff it up some, make it look old, and take the shine off of this paint. For the lettering on the sign, I'm going to go ahead and use some stencils. And these are leftover stencils that I had for my Undertaker sign. So I'm going to use those. I'll take and use probably white, this white spray paint, to spray over these stencils for the lettering. So I guess the next step is to go ahead and paint those boards while it's not raining. So let me go do that, and then I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. I've got the base of the sign all ready to go. After I painted it green with some spray paint, I took my sander and sanded the edges and took the shine off. Now I'm ready for some stenciling. I think it's looking really good so far. And again, I'm just going to use some of my old stenciling that I had from last year. I've actually got two different sizes. I've got these larger stencils which will say Egyptian mummy on the top, and then I've got some smaller stencils that will say handle with care. So let me go ahead and put the stenciling on the board and we'll get it painted. What do you think? I've got it done. I like the way it turned out. Not sure exactly where I'm going to put it at yet, but I guess you'll have to watch to see where I put it at, see if you can spot it in some of the upcoming videos. But I think that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel. Until then, talk to you later.